Hello, YouTube. Yeah, we here to report some sad news. And I guess my camera is not even here for it today because I'm looking a lot more yellow tone than usual. Like, I don't know how this is going to look, but I look awful tonight. And it's like, ugh. It might be because of the cloudy weather mixed with this darn on bug. I swear, I'm going to purchase me a ring light this week and put up on this darn on camera, or we just going to go ahead and start recording from the phone. But I can't take too many of these awful darn on imaging videos, honey. I look horrible on the playback. But anyways, what is even more horrible than this quality is the fact that Andrew Yang, the very last candidate that I would have gave a possible consideration that I actually recently donated to, was planning on donating $20 more to. I done gave a $2 donation, a $5 donation, and I know it ain't that much, but a girl just got back employed. And I was ready to darn on drop 20 on darn on Yang, honey. And darn on next thing I know, I get this long dissertation email, and I already knew because it was very reminiscent of Marianne Williamson. Like, Andrew Yang already gives us long paragraphs anyways from anybody who subscribed to the Andrew Yang's subscription list. But this one was even more longer than usual. And it was singing a sad song. And I said, oh, no, the Yang don't do this. Now, I have not even barely got over darn Marianne Williamson dropping out. Now, I'm still over it with that. Now, the one last slither of hope. And it wasn't even that, because it's like Andrew Yang had some, he still wasn't there all the way with me on black issues. Like, I wanted him to speak more. And even today, he done changed his website for the third time. He done changed it around again, and I still haven't seen no quality substance black issues in great detail. However, he got me on the universal basic income. I told y'all when comparing it to reparations how in the immediate scenario it is actually more beneficial for black Americans. However, it does not address the atrocities. It does not address the economic restitution that we are owed, and $1,000 a month by itself is not going to do it. We need funding towards our black-owned banks. We need funding towards black charter schools, not just HBCUs, because HBCUs are being co-opted. There are just as many white people that go to HBCUs as there are black people. So Joe Biden talking about $75 billion for HBCUs as if that's solely for black people. That's like the modernized version of affirmative action. And if y'all don't know, affirmative action benefited mostly white women. And that's the same thing that HBCU donations pretty much are doing today. Just keeping it real. So when people shout out HBCUs, it's like, and then it's like, what about the majority of black people that are already out of college that are graduating? Y'all make it seem like the problem is that we're not educated, but it shows black women are the most highly educated in associate's, bachelor's degrees, and starting to lead proportionally and darn on master's degrees coming up. So it's not that we don't have the education. It's the fact that we can't do nothing with the darn on degrees once we graduate. So I can't stand this darn on talk about, reparations in the form of education. So that's why I ain't been paying, the Joe Bidens and the stuff of the world. And, and the monster, the crime bill and all that shit, he still ain't getting my darn on vote. That's why I was so happy to see that the egg on his face when he lost Iowa and New Hampshire. And, but then this is the sadness right here. What is going on with my people voting favorably for him in South Carolina? Y'all know South Carolina is next door to North Carolina. I'm trying to figure out, now, where is we going wrong? Where y'all see, this is that darn going, what's it called when you have an attachment to your abuser? I can't think of the official term right now. Stockholm syndrome. This is Stockholm syndrome to the T. This motherfucker was the author of the crime bill. This motherfucker was the one who argued on the darn going Senate floor, advocating for darn on black, and said he didn't give a damn about black people who were misfortunate to be strung out on drugs. They don't care about the circumstances in which they grew up. They should be locked up so his mother wouldn't have the potential of getting knocked upside the head. So stereotyping all black people as inherently violent. But now that the epidemic is going on with white a sudden we got sanctuary cities and all this and decriminalizing opiates and stuff nationwide. But when black people who got systematically targeted and put, you got the drugs put in their neighborhoods, you want the darn gonna come up with 3-strike laws and the crime bill and all this bullshit. So just off of that alone, he didn't have my vote. But Andrew Yang was actually going up against some pretty good contenders: Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren. Tulsi Gabbard actually looked favorable for me. She been falling off lately. I haven't really heard much about Tulsi Gabbard. I don't know what's going on with Tulsi lately. I got to look into Tulsi, but I haven't heard. She ain't got back on the debate stage yet, and then I haven't seen no actual. I'm sure she actually still on the campaign trail, but I just haven't came across no videos of her, actually doing something. So I'm gonna have to really search, but I haven't heard much more. And then that's really saying something, because she was actually more favorable as far as in the grand scheme than Marianne Williamson. But I hear more about Marianne Williamson even not running, more than I do about Tulsi, and Tulsi is still in the race. So to the Tulsi Gabbard gang, what's going on with Tulsi Gabbard? Now, I know, with the impeachment hearings and all that, some of them got held back into, but I don't think she was part of the Senate, though. Isn't she a House of Representatives? And then furthermore, it's like the impeachment is over with, so I don't know what's going on with why Tulsi Gabbard, I'm not hearing a peep from her. I'm hearing a peep from all these irrelevant darn on people just because they have money. I'm hearing a lot from Mike Bloomberg. I can't tell you one darn on unique policy that Mike Bloomberg has. Yeah, he's been on my TV. That's sad. And I can't even really tell you what Mike Bloomberg stands for. Yeah, I've done seen more ads of him than any other darn on Democratic candidate combined. Just sad. And then you got the good billionaire on the other side, like Tom Steyer. He does have a history of doing some good, but he has the history of the hypocrisy of actually benefiting off of something that he's not trying to atone for. He got his billions off of the oil industry that led to so-called global warming, but now you're trying to be the savior of the same thing that you profited, that gave you the position to spend the millions of dollars to prepare yourself into the campaign. The millions of dollars that, if it was in the hands of somebody like Andrew Yang, it would be a lot more favorable, for the American people as opposed to somebody like, Tom Steyer. Now, Tom Steyer don't, strike me as a bad person, and I'm not saying somebody can't be above change, but if I had to choose between an Andrew Yang and a Tom Steyer, I would rather have Andrew Yang. And like I said, even though Andrew Yang has some work to do as far as addressing black issues, I felt that with the right groups of people, he could have got there. The sad thing is, who was those groups of people he could talk to? He definitely couldn't talk to none of the top people on YouTube, because for the longest they was arguing. None of them darn gonna offer, because the thing is, we always expect darn on other races of people to naturally know what to do in regards to reparations. But when it comes down to it, half of us don't even have a clear plan our damn selves. That's why I'm so anxious about people actually looking at my little old channel. And because I'm the only one that actually has a clear, darn on direct plan. It might be flawed, it might not be enough money, but at least I have some plan to negotiate with. You listen to darn on other people, it's like they on Bernie Sanders rag. They talking about they don't like they darn on celebrating Cory Booker and Kamala Harris, and now Andrew Yang dropping out, and y'all darn on shouting out ADOS did this, ADOS did that. But once again, I done looked over that whole website of ADOS101.com, and over 70% of what they proposing is pretty much darn on what Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren is proposing for every American people. Darn on health care, more HBCU grants, and free college education. Hell, that's what they already proposing. I ain't heard nothing about economic restitution towards black-owned banks. I haven't heard, I think they might have touched slightly on black farmers, but they could have did a little bit more on the website in regards to black farmers. Then they didn't address the percentage issue with who is classified as a black American, because the way our hospitals are set up, you can be a quarter black and still be identified as a full black person. And then proportionally, you can get the same amount of reparations as me. That's why I set up a percentage clause in my reparations darn on proposal. All of that will be in the description box below. But yeah, the sad thing is Andrew Yang has not had a good amount of black people to enlighten him on these said issues. I mean, you go to the leader of ADOS, that's a lost cause. Antonio Moore, Yvette Carnell, and then Tariq Nasheed is like, Boris Watkins, so-called financial literacy expert. Maybe, but I haven't heard him say a dollar amount. Then you go to Phil Device show. He done jumped up from $6 trillion to $17 trillion, but hasn't proposed a plan of action of how they supposed to come out $17 trillion. You leaving it in the form of your oppressors that you try to come up with a viable way that they aren't gonna pay you back or what you owe. And then once again, I haven't heard a clear quality, So that's why I really couldn't blame Andrew Yang on this, because even amongst us as black people, we haven't even came to a collective. But I would have loved for him to actually at least gather some people, and not just the ones that are, in the race. Like, leave Asian Kamala where she's at. Don't get black people that are legitimately black, number one. Not people posing. Number two, not just light-skinned black people who darn gonna act like they know about the hardship, but really did not have to deal with the hardship. AKA like the Eric Dysons of the world and the Cory Bookers, that light-skinned, hostility, high class. I'm not saying that they didn't have the upper echelon version of darn on black oppression, but it's a lot different than being poor black, than being uppity, light-skinned, borderline white passing black. Like, Cory Booker acting like he know what the flavor of the Kool-Aid is, but his parents look like they ain't had nothing darn of that sort in their refrigerator. Both his parents, IBM executives, look like they had the finest grade of organic tea up in their motherfucking refrigerator at all times. And Cory Booker looked like he ain't never seen a white refrigerator a day in his life. Then he looked like he was born with those 30 cubic foot darn stainless steel darn silver refrigerators. So him darn up on the debate stage acting like he know about the Kool-Aid, and boy bye. So Andrew Yang, if he was going to get some black people to speak on black quality issues, please leave the Cory Bookers and the Mike Eric, and especially with them with their darn reparation proposals in the form of darn baby bonds and darn bank accounts and shit. Okay, and what banks are we going to utilize? The same banks that actually paid our oppressors darn reparations before us? Are we not even going to touch on the fact that Wells Fargo was around during the days of post-slavery, paying out reparations to the slave owners for the loss of their darn slaves? And that they still practicing darn discriminatory policies to this day? That as black people, we can get a $20,000 school loan fresh out of high school. But if I come to you with a 40-page business plan, I can't even get a $10,000 darn business loan. You'll give me a car loan, but you won't give me a home loan. Anything that will set me up where I can darn build up darn wealth is harder to attain versus something that's more materialistic or something that you know for a fact that will perpetually keep somebody in debt. So when people say, oh, well, the banks won't do that, banks are in it to make money, you're damn right. And that's why they don't never give you business loans. Because once you darn able to build your own self up and then become enlightened and say, hey, let me darn invest into my own banking systems and stuff, especially what black people did back in darn 10 years post slavery. We had our own banking institutions. We amassed billions of dollars, which in today's value would be equivalent to several trillions of dollars. And what did a certain group do? Went in and stole all our funds, Wells Fargo allegedly included. And now we supposed to leave it up to these same darn banks to darn have our best interests when they show that they don't even have the interest today? Peep the double entendre. They only have interest when it comes to that darn on interest, but our interest as far as the interest of the darn on person that bank with them, they don't really have their best interest in heart. They only looking for the interest. They looking for the interest, but not looking for your interest, honey. Once again, peep the double entendre. So the baby bond proposal, and they're gonna marry Michael Eric Dyson with his proposal of reparations through the form of savings accounts, honey. This is why light-skinned niggas can't really be darn on at the forefront too tough. Not everybody's a darn on Malcolm X. Not everybody's a motherfucking Sidney Poitier. You got some of these darn on hostile dilly darn on light Negroes that just be doing too damn much. That light-skinned curly hair, light darn on eye type, bugs eye looking type Negroes. This is why I wish Andrew Yang will somehow come across my darn on channel. I know I can be a little bit much. I'm from North Carolina, and sometimes I speak a little bit too real. Y'all know I'm born and raised from the two seats. So even though I'm very articulate, sometimes y'all hear some of this hood flavor. But he needs a well-round verseness of blackness from all different walks of life. And that's where Andrew Yang really dropped the ball. Because the only time I seen the closest to blackness was Dave Chappelle. And Dave Chappelle, you know, he's a good comedian. But as far as actually being well educated on black issues, he don't give me that. You know, Dave Chappelle ain't no Richard Pryor, honey. Dave Chappelle is not no Monique. I haven't heard Dave Chappelle really speak on black issues in that detail. I mean, of course, you know, interracial dating and all of that, and, you know, slightly addressing, you know, the hypocrisy of, you know, LGBTs getting more benefits lately than black people. Like, he addressed it somewhat, but not fully in depth enough. So I feel where Andrew Yang dropped the ball was he did not have enough well-roundedness of black people, you know, helping them push up on black issues. And then when you look at the top black people that he would have been more primitive to coming across first, because it's like, what is the chances that he you know, he'll come across a little on me? The algorithm in YouTube is not pushing me up like that. But you got the Vicky Dillers, you got the, you know, this is not the shit talk, these people. They good in their own way, but it's like with the infighting and all that's been going on with the Vicky Dillers, the Boyce Watkins, the Tyreek Nashees, Tonio Moore, Yvette Cardell, it's like nobody wants to have a conversation with them. It's like y'all up here calling people pimps, hoes, phantoms, and dykes, and booty moist, darn on butter biscuits and all this. It's like you want somebody that's actually running for president that entertain an actual conversation with you. Now, granted, I get down in the gutter with the shits too, but it's like my channel is really focused usually on the celebrity topics of the spectrum. So it's to be expected from somebody like me, but somebody who is actually running a commentator platform that is strictly on black progressive darn on issues of facing, you know, and addressing atrocities that face us as black people. But then you darn on turn around with all this foolishness and shenanigans and shit. It's like nobody ain't going to pay attention to that. So I don't blame Andrew Yang for paying ADOS dust. Paying, you know, Foundation of Black Americans don't even got an official website. I still looked at it. He ain't got nothing to this day. He only got the darn on name just to sell t-shirts and shit. Just to darn on one up darn on Antonio and Yvette, but ain't doing nothing. So this is darn on who we want to really represent our issues. Really? So, yeah, it's very sad indeed. Yang Gang, I don't know what I'm going to do. But this has gotten to the point where I don't even think I'm going to vote. Now, hold up. I am voting locally. Y'all know I got family and, you know, good colleagues, you know, that actually, you know, are in local politics. So when I say I'm not voting, I'm definitely voting for my mayor. I'm voting for my superintendent. I'm voting for my local judges. But it's gotten so sad that when it comes down to, now that Tom Tillis, let me tell your motherfucking ass something. between Tom Tillis and Richard Burr. I know one of them two motherfuckers is up for darn on re-election this year. Now I think whoever went up against Miss Deborah Ross in 2016, your ass got 2 more years in that damn office. But whoever is up for darn on 2020, oh, your ass getting up out of there. Now I will be voting to get one of the motherfucking senators out. Cause what they did darn on kissing darn on Trump, that was some bullshit. So I will also be voting for my Senate and my House of Representatives. But when it comes to the president, it's sad to say I don't see nobody now at the Andrew Yang. Y'all can say, well, you're voting, well, fuck it. I just won't be voting. I ain't voting for Donald Trump. Bernie Sanders is a huge no. Tulsi Gabbard would have been a maybe, but hell, like I said, I can't even see her. I don't even see a recommendation for her on YouTube anywhere, let alone darn up on my news channel. Now, of course, I know you got the unfair advantage of these billionaires like Mike Bloomberg. Now, I know you had this unfair advantage of the Mike Bloombergs and Tom Steyers taking up all the darn on airtime and shit, but it's like, you have other people still darn on being mentioned. Like, Amy Klobuchar actually climbed up in the darn on right side of the darn on blue. Matter of fact, Amy Klobuchar done got surpassed darn on Tulsi. And Tulsi was more favorable than Amy in the beginning. Now, I don't understand how that happened. Now, I actually somewhat like darn on Amy Klobuchar, but Amy Klobuchar is just like safe. Like, I don't want to vote for somebody who's just safe. And then I really can't, even think of any policies of her. I need to look at her site and see what she got going on, but she hasn't even really excited me at all. But Tulsi was interesting, but like I said, I haven't heard nothing from Tulsi in a darn on minute. Yeah, I'm sorry, y'all, I had a single strand knot. But like I said, I haven't heard anything from Tulsi in a darn on good minute, so I'm worried about Tulsi. Mike Bloomberg, there's just too much hypocrisy with his darn on rich ass. And Tom Steyer, okay, environmental change, I want to put you in the cabinet where that's best suited. But as far as presidency, I don't think he got what it takes to be well-rounded to be president. Makes me almost wish that, is it possible for darn on Andrew Yang to jump back in? Because I always told y'all that Marion Williamson and Andrew Yang best complimented each other, and this was sickens me. Both of them taking that darn on high road and talking about they'll vote for whoever gets the darn on ticket. Now this is gonna piss me off. Biden or Bernie, one of them two trifling bees get that ticket, and I see Marion darn on and Andrew darn on big up and darn on Bernie. Well, I can see it possibly for Bernie. Not me, but I can see how they will see it for Bernie. I can't see it for Bernie, but I can see how they will see it for Bernie. But if they call themselves darn on trying to endorse Biden, I'm going to be truly done. I'm really going to be truly done. But, and it's like, I don't understand why he dropped out with the support that he had. At least Marion Williamson could say she was barely getting 2% of the vote. But darn on Andrew Yang, you consistently ranked in the top seats. You had the most potential. But just because one state darn on didn't darn on vote for you, or even two, you felt like you didn't have a chance? Who is to say Iowa and New Hampshire is the end-all be-all? Not to, shade anybody from Iowa or New Hampshire, but what is those two states in the grand scheme of things? So you darn on basing your whole campaign off of two darn on states? And just because you thinking, no president has won the election without these states before, well, that's a first time for everything. Nobody didn't think that a president could be somebody like Donald Trump. Somebody who didn't even know that Hawaii was part of the darn on United States. Somebody who didn't even know Puerto Rico was a United States territory. But going up against somebody who is the most qualified candidate that's ever run for presidency. Nobody wouldn't think in their right mind that somebody who is so incompetent as a businessman that he could bankrupt a casino 6 times over will win against somebody who's been a first lady, a senator, and a secretary of state. So there's always a first for everything. Nobody didn't darn gonna see it for a darn gonna half black man to darn gonna win, or anybody of color at all. Nobody didn't even see it for the possibility for a woman to darn gonna win. And then Asian, honey, y'all was not even a darn gonna factor. So the fact that we had not 1, not 2, but 3 Asians run simultaneously, because contrary to the popular belief, Kamala Harris is very much Asian. So you had Kamala Harris, you had Tulsi Gabbard, and you had Andrew Yang all running for president at the same time. Nobody didn't ever see that it would actually be a possibility that 3 Asians would be taken seriously to run for president. So there's always a first for everything. So I'm so pissed off that Andrew Yang felt because New Hampshire and Iowa didn't darn gonna see it for that certain people in North Carolina, South Carolina wouldn't take them seriously. Because we was, just because they didn't get us our thoughts, honey, we was darn gonna root for you, honey. Because you was the only darn old decent chance left. You was the only decent chance for actual quality change. Quality, well-rounded change. I know somebody gonna slide up in that darn old comment section and say, Bernie, honey, fuck Bernie. Honey, Bernie done piss me off. Bernie's good for some of y'all, you know, I hate to go there with the racism, but Bernie is good for racially complacent white folks. The ones who might not be racist, but at the same time don't give a damn about what's going on with black people. Darn on Bernie is the safe choice for them, but for me as a black person, Bernie don't do it for me, honey. When Bernie disrespected my people and talk about reparations is darn on divisive, but he signed off on that 2013 bill that gave transient darn on Jews $20 million to help their ass out for atrocity that happened 70-some years ago that did not even take part in the United States. Now, Senator Nina Turner, let's talk about, he been doing this since 1962. Let's talk about that 1962. What has he done for me lately? What has Bernie done for people lately? Like me and you. And I'm not saying that he can't do nothing on behalf of Jewish people. Even though they got all of West Hollywood economically, darn on Jewish people are set up and all that. I'm not saying for the ones who are, disenfranchised and are being racially profiled that you can't do more for them. But at the same time, while you darn on toting that you darn on march with Dr. Martin Luther King, and you preaching all those darn on I had a dream speech, I noticed that he don't preach on the parts that Andrew Yang talked about where Dr. Martin Luther King talked about economic restitution. It's too divisive to hear Bernie Sanders tell. And every time darn on we call Bernie Sanders out on this, he has his talking mouthpiece always do some deflective tactics. I'm tired of people deflecting us and just giving us just enough to get by. I actually want some substantive issues. Yes, the climate change is good. All of y'all are for climate change, so that's a point for all of y'all on that. For the exception of darn on Biden's ass. All of y'all is for, student loan forgiveness and raising the minimum wage. So, y'all all equal on that. But when it comes to black issues, honey, every last one of y'all, for the exception of Marion Williamson, dropped the damn ball. Andrew Yang was somewhat steady enough. He could have had promise. He was fumbling the ball, but we could have darn on got the ball picked back up with Andrew. But he done dropped out because of 2 damn states. And allowed us to darn on be left with darn on Biden and Bernie. And old Pete Buttigieg, who is just going off the gate team. And really, why people darn on toting at him as the token gay president, I don't even, potential gay president, I don't even see what he's really done for LGBTs. Honey, I'd be willing to say, darn on, if he was going up against President Barack Obama seemed more darn on favorable than Pete Buttigieg. Pete Buttigieg is part of the community. But when you're darn on white and you still have that privilege, honey, being a white darn on gay man, honey, is totally different than being a black trans woman. And that's why when it came to talking about LGBT issues that affect everybody overall, you hear certain people home on points far better than somebody who is actually of the community. Because once again, you got white privilege that still takes precedent over LGBT oppression. So even though Pete Buttigieg is gay, he is seen as a white man first. Versus if you are a gay darn on Mexican, if you're a black trans woman, you're going to see it a lot more harder in this country. And that's why when I heard Cory Booker talk about transgender issues, Julian Castro, Andrew Yang, it struck a little bit more to me the lean favorable towards them over darn on Pete Buttigieg. Because when I look at Pete Buttigieg, he really don't mention anything. I try to look at the platform again, but I really don't see nothing that stands out to me with darn on Pete Buttigieg. This is somebody that got 0% darn on black support in his darn on own town of Indiana. This is somebody who darn on said in front of cameras boldly that he don't need darn on black people's vote. So now you can see why Pete Buttigieg, I really can't do it with him either. So by process of elimination, now we're down to Elizabeth Warren. Okay, Elizabeth, maybe. I might can see it for Elizabeth. We might can get Elizabeth together on some black issues. But I really wanted Andrew Yang. Andrew Yang really won me over. And to see him come out, drop out is really disappointing to me. And like I said, I wanted to be a first for everything. And for the first time in history, I want somebody to unsuspend their campaign if that's possible. Because the definition of suspension is temporary. Because it's really a misnomer. Because when somebody suspends their campaign, they're really trying to say they're ending their campaign. I don't know why they just don't say it's ending. That's the Capricorn in me. It's like I take things literally. And it's like if you suspended your campaign, there's still a possibility that the suspension can be lifted. But if you permanently expel your campaign, or if you permanently end your campaign, it's no coming back from the end. So, I would love for this to be an opportunity for them to say, well, technically, suspension is temporary, and you regather yourself together. And you will set some donations, because if you tell me you're willing to come back up in here, if you get some donations, honey, I'll drop 20 on it right now. I'll go ahead and drop $20 on it right now and get several more people to do the damn same. And you darn on team up with Marion Williamson, honey, that would be a force to be reckoned with. I'm telling y'all, Marion Williamson and Andrew Yang would have been the dream team where it's at. Both of them complement where the other person lacks. Both of them complement each other where each one of them is lacking, the other one picks up for it. Both of them together, but both of them are sadly trying to play kiss ass to whoever that playing politics is going to get us fucked up again. Y'all two are the darn on outside contenders who are not corrupt, who are not part of the darn on big old boys club. I don't know why y'all feel like y'all have an allegiance to darn on just go blindly off of whoever's the candidate, especially if it's Biden. Somebody who threw their own darn on supporter under the bus. You see how quick darn on Bernie Sanders threw darn on Senator Nina Turner under the bus in defense of darn on Joe Biden? Honey, I was shocked about that shit. I said, Now, your top darn on token spokesperson who's been wearing your shirts talking about you've been doing this since 1962 and all this, that, and the third. And when it came time that she defended you and called out Joe Biden, you stuck up on that darn on certain code, honey. And even though she was darn on standing by you, you had to stand by a different code because this person got out of line. Because at the end of the day, you still part of the club too. Just because y'all move different, y'all are still one in the damn same. And y'all know where I'm getting at with that. Because once again, the fact that he darn gonna allow Senator Nina Turner to be disrespected by darn gonna defending darn on Joe Biden and his crookedness and knowing the history that he has done to black people, and you trying to make light of that? Somebody who literally sat on the Senate floor and boldly said he don't give a damn about the circumstances that was forcefully put upon black people, that he should, that black people should be locked up for being on drugs, so his darn old mama won't have the propensity to get knocked upside the head by a black person walking down the street. So any black person walking down the street that might be suffering from drug addiction, you're assuming will be inherently violent. But now when it comes to white people, all of a sudden we got to give them needles and pillowcases and blankets and sanctuary cities, and oh no, we can't judge them. And even when it comes to jobs, we start to decriminalize, people being on drugs and, all this, that, and the third when it comes to when it's white people. This is who you defended, Bernie Sanders, against a black woman who actually been darn on riding for you, who said that you been darn on support of black people since 1962. But as soon as he darn on got a chance, he threw you right under the darn on bus for the darn on author of the crime bill. Honey, with friends like Bernie, who the fuck needs enemies? Now, I love to hear Senator Nina Turner's response on that one, honey. Since she always have a comeback for everything else regarding darn on Bernie Sanders and black issues, honey, he didn't even defend your black ass. The irony. And I hate to gloat on such issues because seriously, it's real sad. But sometimes people got to get a little taste of that darn on hurt themselves for them to be woken up. So I love to know darn on, I would have loved to been a fly on the wall. Matter of fact, it would have really been fucked up if darn on Senator Nina Turner was there that night and heard that bullshit come out of darn on Bernie Sanders' mouth. She darn on been your main darn on ace boom, such and such, and you just kicked her right on to the side for darn on Biden. Sucks to be you right now. Okay, let me get up off that. But seriously, on a serious note, y'all, I don't know what to do when it comes to the March 3rd, because y'all know in North Carolina, that's when, North Carolina gets to vote. Early voting is starting now, but y'all know I got work to do. I got a job, baby. So I'm going to, hopefully they give me Tuesday off. If they don't give me Tuesday off, I'm taking Tuesday off because I'm going to go vote on Tuesday. Matter of fact, I go ahead and ask her in advance, don't put me on the schedule for Tuesday. I go ahead and, go vote Tuesday on the 3rd or whatever. But I don't know who I'm voting for. I don't look like I'm going to be voting for anybody for president. Andrew Yang better jump his ass back up in there. Between Andrew or Marion Williamson, they better jump their ass up in there. Because right now, they say they suspended their campaign, but I'm going to put a write-in for one of them. And y'all can say it's a wasted vote, it's a toss-it-out vote. I don't give a damn. Because I'm not voting for somebody who ain't got at least nowhere near my doggone interests. And like I said, the only person that might be a maybe is Elizabeth Warren. Tulsi Gabbard fell off the radar. I don't know where she's at. I got to darn gonna get my binoculars and darn gonna find her ass. Ready or not, here I come. I'm gonna find you. Honey, we got to find Tulsi. But Tulsi darn gone out of the water, honey. We don't know where the hell Tulsi done went and darn gone hopped off to. So it looked like I'm either going to be right near Marion Williamson or darn on Andrew Yang on the 3rd, because I'll be damned if I'm going to vote for one of those top 3. I'm not voting for motherfucking Bernie. I'm not voting for Biden, nor motherfucking Pete Buttigieg ass. And it is what the fuck it is. And ain't nothing that you can say that can convince me to vote for either one of them 3. Now, anybody else I might can entertain. Honey, I even entertained Bloomberg before darn gonna Biden. That's how sad it is. I can't tell you one policy that Bloomberg has done. And I think Bloomberg has been caught up saying some shit about us too, but in comparison to Biden, Honey, I might darn gonna put in a vote for Blumenberg before motherfucking Biden. And that goes to show you how treacherous darn gonna Biden's ass is. But realistically, I don't see it for Blumenberg. But if I had to choose between Biden and Blumenberg, honey, I'd go Blumenberg before Biden. But yeah, Elizabeth Warren is like the only person left. And you could just tell by my expression, I don't even feel too excited about it. I lost nearly all my momentum with Elizabeth. When Marion Williamson got gone. And then I said, well, you know what? We still got at least Andrew Yang. Andrew Yang, we can educate him a little bit later on, a good quality black, plan. But at least he got the universal basic income up in there. He also addresses LGBT issues. He addresses income inequality. He got a lot of good quality substance plans, value added tax. Honey, he got a long list of shit that I was darn gonna love. And I done an 8-part series on Andrew Yang. So I say at least we can darn gonna get Andrew Yang. But when he darn gonna drop down, honey, that just dropped all my damn spirits. Like I said, now I don't even see who I'm going to possibly go for. But y'all leave y'all thoughts down below. I know this video was all over the place, but that's just how my mind is right now with the fact that Andrew Yang dropped out. It just got me all over the place. Don't know what the damn do. Like I said, I want him to do a first and unsuspend his campaign, and both of them get in line and darn go. And when I say both of them, now Andrew Yang and Marion Williamson need to team up. And then I know y'all talking about Tulsi, honey, put Tulsi up in there and let it be a trio, honey. And Tulsi can be, what's the cabinet position that deals with foreign affairs? She could be the foreign affairs cabinet. And then darn on Andrew Yang is vice president. Andrew Yang is president, and darn on Marion Williamson is vice president, even though I think, Department of Interior would be more suited, but, considering that I don't want them to be tainted because the thing is, both of them talk about having I don't understand how y'all can talk about trying to overthrow corruption, but y'all want to have somebody who's part of the corruption as a possible VP. Both of them look like they were trying to choose Bernie as a VP, and that's what really confuses me. So even though Marion Williamson, I would love her as a possible Department of Interior, I'd rather have her as vice president just to offset any idea of a Bernie as a VP. No, God, man. Maybe if it's Elizabeth Warren as a VP, I can tolerate it. If it's Elizabeth Warren, I can do it. But that darn on Bernie and Biden, no, God, man. And darn on Mayor Pete, honey, he wasn't even qualified as damn mayor. He don't need to be in nobody's cabinet either. So that's it, y'all. Y'all leave y'all thoughts, comments, suggestions down below. Like I said, I'm really darn on irritated. I'm over it. I don't know what to do come voting day. It look like I won't be voting for a president. I'll be writing in darn on Marion or Andrew Yang, but I won't be voting for anybody that's left at this point. So y'all tell me y'all thoughts, and I'll see y'all soon.